So let me welcome Poonam. She's one of our very good instructor, and she's here with us. So welcome, Poonam. Can you hear me, please? Can you confirm if you are able to hear me?
Yeah, hi, Naman sir. I'm here. I can hear you very clear.
Thank you. Guys, can you confirm if you can hear Poonam? Can you please confirm if you? Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you some good things about Poonam. Poonam is someone who is connected with us for over 3 years now, and she has trained probably more than hundreds of students for us, where many of them have already found a job as project manager across US, Canada, and UK. The best thing about Poonam is that she is very practical. Her examples, her scenarios have always helped our students to visualize the scenario so that they can learn better. And that's what I like about Poonam. And we invited her and she accepted our request. Thank you, Poonam, for coming.
Thank you, sir, for having me here. And hello, everyone.
So, uh, yeah, so basically, Poonam, we are doing the interview practice over here. I'm going to
Right.
post the question one by one to you, and then you can tell us that how structurally or how can we respond to that question. So, whenever we walk into any interview, the very first question what any interviewer would like to ask is, could you please tell me a little about yourself? So, how would you answer this, Poonam? Can you please share your way of answering this question? And everyone, are you noting down whatever we are discussing? Are you making notes or not? So I request everyone to grab a pen and paper and please take down notes because we're going to be having a very important discussion this today. Okay, over to you, Poonam.
Yeah. So actually, this question, as you said, like it's a very important and the first question which is asked in any interview to introduce yourself. So the key is to keep it very short and very structured. So for that, I have come like I can give you a very small hack which can be used, which I'm putting in the chat also. That you can, the short form is I am me. I am me, where I stands for introduction, where you can give your name, greeting. A stands for academic or professional background. M stands for major skills. M stands for major achievement, and E for expectation. So you keep this ready. I am me. So I am me helps you to introduce yourself in a very structured way. Like like I'll give you the structure now here. Again, you can see on the chat. So based on I am me, this can be the introduction. Good morning, Poonam. Good morning, I'm Poonam Sinha. I am A, where you are going to give your academic and professional things. So I am a PMP certified project manager with 15 years of experience in edtech and technology deployment. My expertise is in agile CRM systems like Microsoft D365 instructional design. I recently led a CRM deployment. So I'm talking about my achievement deployment project that improved efficiency by 30%. And E is you have to show your excitement towards the job. So I'm excited about this opportunity because it allows me to leverage my skills to drive impactful digital transformation. So this is a small structure which you can use to introduce yourself.
Oh, that's great. I think that is something how easy, Poonam actually has made it. I think so what Poonam, you are trying to say that whenever we are answering that, how can or could you please tell me about yourself? And if you're introducing, we need to follow this I am me strategy, where I is about my introduction, name and greeting. A is my academic and professional background. M is major skills, what I possess, and again M is basically major achievements. And expectations, like expectation is like like expectation and excitement, that why are you interested in this role. So guys, I think this is a great advice what Poonam has done, I think, has said. I think we all can follow this. I am me, where the, like, if I read it, let me read it, Poonam, if you don't mind, can I read this?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, sure.
So let's say, if you look at the first one, good morning, I am Poonam Sinha. So let's say if you are, Michael, good morning, I am Michael, good morning, I am Naman. So you are basically greeting them, and professionally you are telling your name. So after that, A, which is your academic professional background, is going to be, this one, the I am PMP certified. If you are really certified, then you should mention that. Years of experience according to your resume, and you tell them the domain where you worked in, whether you were actually in edtech, technology, IT, banking, wherever you were. And after that, it talks about the major skills. Now, everyone can have a different skill. Someone has AWS skills, someone has Azure skills, or someone has like agile skills. So you can always tell that my expertise is in agile, CRM systems, Microsoft Dynamic 365, instructional design. So I mean, what will happen that you'll be able to put your skills forward, and then you're telling your major achievement, that I recently led a CRM deployment project that improved efficiency by 30%. And you're telling this achievement. And the last is your basically expectation. I'm excited about this opportunity because it allows me to leverage my skills to drive impactful digital transformation. So you can imagine that this is how you need to structure it. I mean, this is really good, Poonam. Thank you so much for doing this. Yeah.
Thanks,
So,
thanks. Well,
okay.
my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, let me move on to the next part. So now, Poonam, the next question is, please explain your primary responsibility and contribution in your previous organization. How can I answer
Yes.
this?
Yes. So for this also, like I said initially, that structure is the key. The more you are structured, it gives a nice, thoughtful expression that sorry, that when you answer and your approach is really the key, and your how you approach to things is very structured, which you will apply when you will be working. So for this, you can have race. Race is responsibilities are where you have to and make them clear that what are the responsibilities or core duties you handle. A is achievement, C is collaboration, and E is enhancement. So A is achievement, where you have to say that the responsibilities which you handled, what was the key result, what you achieved by handling the responsibility, who were involved. So C, collaboration, and E is enhancement, what more improvement you could have done additionally, right? So for this, the answer I'm putting in the chat, a structured answer to this is this one, based on the race format.
Poonam, let me just copy paste it and then you can
Yes,
talk about.
yes,
One moment, please. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Poonam.
yes, yeah. So primary responsibility here, R is responsibility. So I have written in my previous organization, my responsibilities included leading end-to-end project delivery, resource management, and stakeholder coordination. Then comes achievement. So in my whatever responsibility I handle, say for the same responsibility, I'll highlight my achievements. So my key achievements were delivering multiple projects on the time, improving efficiency by 15%. So here I'm also giving some data to make it like give a realistic touch, and driving successful CRM deployments. C is collaboration. So I worked through strong collaboration with cross-functional teams, clients, and senior management to align goals and expectations. Enhancement is if you have done any improvement, innovations, right? So that you can, that what extra you have taken, extra effort. So additionally, I introduced enhancement in workflows and process that streamlined reporting and boosted team productivity. So this is how you can answer this question.
Okay, that's great. So I think guys, you can see it that when we are answering the question, it has to be properly structured and patiently answered. The way Poonam was answering, I think she has attended hundreds of interview probably in her life, and she takes the interview as well for new joinees in her project teams. So if she's saying that the answer should be structured, then it should be structured so that the person who is in front of you can understand what background you are, bringing to them. So if you look at race, that to basically explain your primary responsibilities and contribution in previous organization. So we follow this race, responsibilities, achievements, collaboration, and enhancement. If we are able to talk about these four things, then probably we will gain some again a confidence of an interviewer that this guy actually has done something which mattered to that particular organization or previous organization. Okay, so I think if you look at the first answer, which is like responsibility, so she's basically telling that I was leading end-to-end project delivery, resource management, and stakeholder coordination. So all these things you have to put it in this way only. I request you, everyone, to basically take a screenshot of this or probably note it down, or probably when we share the recording with you, go back to the recording and watch it, because the answer has to be done in the same fashion. If you are not answering it in this fashion, you will miss out a lot of things. Okay, so sounds good, everyone. Can we move to the next question now? Are we good, everyone? Thank you. And people, it's not just for PMP, it's for everyone who is here, who is attending any program, doesn't matter. You just have to make sure you follow in a right fashion. Okay, next question for you, Poonam. Can you
Yeah,
describe your approach to task prioritization within project setting?
right, right. So yes, so basically when the interviewer, the person who is interviewing you, when this kind of question is asked to understand your approach towards your project, so here you can answer that whenever it comes to task prioritization in a project setting. So what you can do is that you can start that whenever there is task prioritization, I discuss with my customer one to one. So one to one meeting, it starts with one to one meeting, and I understand the requirement very clearly. So after one to one meeting and understanding or getting a clear requirement, what we can do is that make a list of tasks or activities, okay, which needs to be done, and prioritize the task on the basis of urgency and dependency. And you can collaborate with the team, with the cross-functional team, and understand the dependency there. And based on that, you can mark your task priority and assign to the required and proper stakeholders. So here you can also talk about some metrics and all, like we have Eisenhower metrics, but I think it would be very specific to project management and all. So that's why we can go with this kind of generic answer.
Okay, so it means that if someone is asking that, tell me your approach, that how will you prioritize your task in the current project setting? If an interviewer is asking that question, right?
Yes,
Then in that
yes.
case, we need to basically have a meeting with our customer to understand his requirements. After understanding the requirements, we will list down all the tasks and activities, and then we will prioritize based on the urgency and dependency, and then lastly we'll be assigning that task, because if I am working as a project manager, it means I'm getting the task done by someone else, correct? So I'll basically get the task done by stakeholders or by my team members. Correct? That
Yes.
should be our approach. Okay, I think everyone has noted down. This is actually a very good idea, because sometimes we try to give some answers in a fashion that which is not acceptable by an interviewer. So we need to show our politeness. We need to show our that we are team member, we are team player. So the way Poonam has structured it, that having one-to-one meeting with customer is important, understanding requirement is important, or creating a list of tasks is important, and then prioritizing it. I think that is the right approach we need to share if this question is asked. And I think Poonam, this is one of the frequently asked question, right? I mean, most of
Yes.
students can
Yes.
expect this.
Yes.
Okay, guys, please note it down. Then it's gonna be one of the question you might face if you're going for any project manager interview. Moving on to the next. So the fourth question, Poonam, is for you. If a customer expresses dissatisfaction with the quality of deliverables, how do you address that concern? I think this is wonderful question. Let me repeat this question, Poonam, for our students. If a customer expresses dissatisfaction with the quality of deliverables, how do you address their concerns? Over to you, Poonam.
Yes. So yeah, this is again one of the most frequent question because they want to understand that when such kind of situation comes, how you take action in pressure because you will be in pressure when there is a dissatisfaction. So first and foremost thing is that you should the first step is that discuss with the customer and try to understand the problem. So identification of problem is the first step, like why it happened. So I would say root cause analysis or identification of problem. So once you understand the root cause, why this happened, why is the dissatisfaction, where is the quality, where is the fault, right? So after understanding the root cause of the problem, then you need to, then after identification of root cause, what you need to do is that you have to do impact analysis. What impact it has created, right? And how it is going to impact further. Is it going to impact my brand reputation? Is it going to impact my customer would not come again to me, right? So what is the impact? Based on that impact, you have to find the alternate solutions. So it is known as alternate analysis. Find the alternate solution. Means that solution A, B, C, D, whatever. So two, three solution you can find. So keep in mind that when you are finding an alternate solution, don't be in isolation and solve it, right? So find a alternate, do an alternate analysis, find the alternate solution, apply the solution to the problem and try to resolve with your team. And after applying the solution to the problem, then you don't have to move from there. You have to see the impact that how your solution is your problem resolved or not. So you will see the impact of your solution. If not, again you will find apply solution B and keep on doing till the concern is totally resolved. And you can add a line that in all this process, I make sure that transparency is maintained and clear communication with my customer, which can build trust again. Because here the most important thing is that to keep the trust of the customer alive. So that's how we can answer.
Okay, I mean, that's great. So guys, I hope everyone has noted down. So if a customer expresses dissatisfaction with the quality of deliverables, then identification of problem is important, impact analysis, how much it has impacted our customer, and then find an alternative solution, and then apply the solution to the problem and resolve it with the team. So this is something which has to be addressed in a same way. So I hope everyone has noted this down. Thank you. Uh, Moving on to the next question now. The next question is, what project management or productivity tools have you used in your previous roles? I mean, In my opinion, Poonam, this is one of the most important question, right? Because
Yes, yes,
productivity tools like this is certainly very important. So how will you answer this?
yes. So here basically, see, we have lot of project management tools which are there. So whatever you have used in your project, you have to show relevancy towards it. That I have used, suppose MS Project is the most important tool. So I have used MS Project in my uh, project to track the project, to monitor and control the project using the various index like SPI, CPI. So like that, you have to show the relevancy that MS Project is one important tool. Next is Jira. So Jira is the tool which I have used for when I was using I was using a agile methodology for my project. So that time I used Jira to work in sprints. So Jira was basically used to collaborate with cross-functional team when you were working in agile methodology. Then you can mention the third tool, that is Visio. So Visio is a tool which is used for basically to maintain the process flow. So you can say that when I wanted to set the process in my project, I used Visio. So these are the three primary tools which are used in project management, which you can mention.
That's great. So Poonam, let's say if somebody is coming into project management, but he has some idea on some technology like AWS cloud, or let's say Azure cloud, or probably AI, will it be an
Yes,
additional benefit to our students if they go and do it?
yes, definitely. Because see, nowadays we need there is a demand of efficient project manager, right? Efficient and project manager who is using best practices. So efficiency relates to all these technical knowledge. If you have, like, if you have Excel, you have Power BI, AWS, AI, and all these knowledge. So yes, it
Okay,
will
great.
really help. Yes.
So I think guys, if you know project Michael MS project is written on the top. So what I'm trying to tell you is that definitely MS Project, Jira, and Visio are important tools. But what we have seen recently that having or adding some technology-based tools can certainly take your application to a next level. So anyone who is actually into project management, and if you try to club it with AWS, Azure, AI, Power BI, then basically your application goes to a next level because recruiter would like to hire someone who possess multi skills plus the tools which are being used by the projects. Okay, so make sure that if you are someone who is already doing project management, ask yourself if you already know any one of this tool or plan it to basically learn new tools. Sounds good, everyone? Can you please confirm if you guys are enjoying the session till here? Let me see. Poonam, let's see how many people are actually enjoying this session till now. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So next question, Poonam, is could you share an example of a particularly challenging project you have managed? I think this is one of the major question people ask us that could you share an example of a particular challenging project you have managed so far? Can you please help us?
Yes. So yes, as like this is a very important question which has been asked in many of the project management interviews. So here they want to know that actually how you manage things, what is your core strength when you see that there is a challenge in the project and how you manage. So I have a sample answer here, like, which I have made especially for this session. So here you have to again mention first your challenge and what action you took. Both. They are only asking about challenge, but you have to mention challenge plus what action you take. Took. So in one of my earlier projects, a CRM implementation, the biggest challenge was managing frequent scope changes from client. So if you have frequent scope changes from the client, that was the challenge. To handle this, I imposed a formal change request. maintained a detailed issue log, updated stakeholders regularly, and RACI metrics. RACI metrics is where you divide the work. So when you go to any project management course, you will be more familiar with these terms. So I also conducted weekly steering committee meetings. So steering committee meeting is meeting of all the stakeholders to maintain the alignment. This structured communication change control helped us deliver the project within revised timelines while maintaining the quality. So here in this question, we are mentioning that the challenge was frequent scope change. What I did is I followed a change management process where whatever change I got, I clearly communicated to my stakeholders, maintaining the transparency. And due to that transparency, whatever change I did, I took permission of everyone. So transparency I maintained and clear communication that yes, this is how we should manage the change. So if not, you can also answer this question as that whenever there is a challenge in the if there is a scope change, what I do is whenever there is scope change, I'm typing in chat. Whenever there is a scope change, what you can do is you can do impact analysis that what change my customer is asking, okay, what impact it is going to bring to my uh, baselines, to my commitment. And if there is an impact, I will call a meeting of all the stakeholders. I'll clearly communicate that see these are the changes and this is the reason and this would be the impact due to the change. And finally, if the stakeholder says yes, you can do the change. If stakeholder says no, you can convey it to your customer or your client. So this is how you have to answer this question, that whenever a change comes to my desk, if it is a change, I follow a change management process where I inform all the stakeholders very transparently and make them aware about the change and the impact it will cause. And if everyone is ready, I go with the change, I update my plan.
Okay. That's great. So yeah, I mean, see, so I think everyone is on the like is understanding. Basically, she's mentioning one of the biggest challenge she has faced in her project, frequent scope changes by the client, and then she implemented change request process. She communicated well. She basically kept stakeholders updated by RACI metrics. So I think if you read the answer right now, what I have in the on the screen right now, so this is how you basically have to answer if this particular question is asked. Okay. Sounds good, Poonam? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much, Poonam. I really appreciate it. So I think, guys, we can say thank you for Poonam to basically come to this session, and I really appreciate Poonam. You took out your important time and a precious time and enlightened us on six important questions which are frequently asked questions. And I think everyone has a direction then they will follow, which is like as you mentioned, structure is the key here. So thank you so much, Poonam.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. My pleasure. I'm glad everyone liked it. And yes, so bye bye from my side.
Sure. Thank you, Poonam. See you again. Yeah. Okay. So guys, okay, so Poonam, one question someone is asking, can we use a star approach to answer questions?
Yeah, we can use star approach like where you talk about situations and yes, challenges, accomplishment or actions and what are the positive outcomes. So you can use. So star is situation, task, action and result. So here you mentioned what was the situation, what was the challenging situation, what was the task you did, what action you took, and what was the result.
Great. Thank you, Poonam. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I hope everyone actually enjoyed the conversation with Poonam, and we are trying our best because I know this is actually a very short time to discuss all the questions. but we tried our best to pull out most important question and discuss with every one of you, because these questions is not just important for a project manager, but if you're playing a role of team lead, tech lead, or even a team player, you might be asked such questions. And that's why we have kept these questions for you, because these are most frequently questions asked questions. Okay. So now, are we ready to jump into cloud interview question? Can I just go ahead and jump into the cloud interview? Cloud interview. Can we explore that option now? Superb. So Bhavna, are you ready?
Yeah. Hi. Good morning, good evening. Hello,
Good
sir. How are
morning.
you
Good
doing?
morning, Bhavna. Thank you for joining. Okay. Now let me introduce, Bhavna. Bhavna is one of our cloud expert who has been working in the industry for many years. The best thing what I like about Bhavna, the explanation she gives, it's quite it's quite structured. Whenever I talk to her, whenever I see her teaching her students, she actually she's very structured, and she's very patient, just like Poonam, and she understands what is the caliber of a student, and accordingly she tries to personalize the training for the student, and that is her basically best thing I found working with her for a number of years. So thank you so much, Bhavna, for joining and accepting our request on a short notice. So
So
can we
much.
start with the interview preparation session for our students?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Let me just quickly start. Uh, okay, the first question, and people, everyone, please listen to this conversation, because cloud is one of the most important thing right now in the industry. Whether you belong to cybersecurity, IT auditing, and GRC project management, cloud is actually becoming a center part of everything, because I think more than 75 or 80% of organization have moved to cloud. So when you get a job, you will certainly see the footprints of cloud at your workplace. And that's why cloud is very important. So I need everyone's attention. Please don't do that. That if you don't belong to cloud, I'm not preparing for cloud, so I'm not gonna participate. Please don't do that. Listen to our 15 to 20 minutes of conversation. It's gonna help you a lot. Okay. So, Bhavna, let's get started. Yeah. So the first question, Bhavna, can I ask you the first question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How do you introduce yourself as a cloud expert? So, Bhavna, over to you.
Thank you. So, first of all, like today's session is going to be slightly different. It's not about we are learning anything new. We will be just learning how to present ourselves in interviews as a professional, because we are having technical knowledge, that is one part, but being able to communicate it effectively in an interview, that is what makes the real difference. So I'll just guide you through some of the questions like we'll be discussing. So since you asked me about how we need to introduce ourselves as cloud expert. So first thing is we need to make it short, like we need to make it short and focused. It should be near about 60 to 90 seconds max, you can say. Here we will be just highlighting our relevant achievements. We need to mention our projects, certifications, roles. Here we have to use some action verbs, because nowadays we are seeing like everything is being within AI, so whenever they are analyzing the things there, so we need to understand some of the action verbs which makes our interviews more impactful. Like when you are working on cloud, so you implement, you deploy things, you design things, you optimize, right? So such wordings are going to make your interview more impactful. And you just don't have to list down the tools, you have to show you have applied them to solve your problems, and customize for your levels. For example, if you are a fresher, you can just let them tell like about your learnings plus projects. If you are some experienced person, you can tell about projects plus the impact of your projects and in your journey. And if you are a consultant and a trainer, like you are having more experience, then you can talk like about your trainings plus client solutions. Like in such way, by following these kinds of key points, you can excel this question for sure. Like I just give you, sir, can I just give one or more sample like how to
Of
answer this
course,
one?
of course,
Okay.
of course, of course.
So suppose you are a fresher or a beginner, then you can start like I'm a recent graduate with a background of computer science. I have been focusing on cloud computing from few time or past year. You can mention a particular duration, the exact duration if you are working on. I have learned the fundamentals of cloud. You can mention some of the fundamentals through hands-on, through trainings. I have built a small project. So likewise, you can go. If you are someone experienced, then you have to start from your years of experience. Like I have 4+ years of IT experience, with the last 2 years specializing in AWS, Azure, whatever you want to like contribute over there. My works involves in designing and scalable solutions. Like you are totally going towards your projects and impact. Okay, and then you can like let us know, like for the interviewer, like you are certified, or how you are working on different aspects, like whether that is cost or security. These all things you can give. Okay, so yeah, that's how we can answer this one.
Okay, so guys, this is something we all should note, that your introduction has to be short and focused. Keep it between 60 seconds to 90 seconds. Don't just keep spending time on it. And I think the good thing what Bhavna just said, that use your action verbs like design, deploy, implemented. These words are very impactful because it shows that you have done something in the past. Knowing things is one thing, but implemented something actually leave a long lasting impression. Okay, and then just don't list down tools. Let's say I know Jenkins, I know Kubernetes. Explain the real use of tools, that if you have really used them, where did you use them, how did you use them? It really helps. And also impact of your contribution in the project. Sometimes you might have worked in a very big project, but your contribution was equal to none or nil. It's important that you tell your contribution. Sometimes you might have to make up a little story as well, so do that, but be a good storyteller when it comes to expressing your contribution or impact of your contribution. Am I right, Bhavna?
Yeah.
So I hope everyone has noted down this thing, who are actually getting ready for cloud market. Now, the next question I would like to ask Bhavna, what's your approach to preparing for a cloud computing interview? Like how should someone prepare for the interview?
Okay. So here we need to show a structured preparation plan, not any random one like we use Google or something. No, we cannot use such kind of words. We need to give a proper balance between the theory and hands-on practice also. We need to, get ready, like whatever we have written in our resumes or, CVs. So whatever the technical and your contribution you have mentioned, all these things you need to really look about, because on these aspects you will be getting kind of comparison, like how you are answering the question and what you have mentioned in your resume, it should resemble each other, right?
Yes.
And you have to also revise the framework of your cloud. If you are working on Azure, GCP, AWS, so you need to totally go into your framework. You need to practice scenario based questions in such case, like how would you make an application highly available and such kind of questions. You need to mention about your mock interviews, whiteboarding, reviewing architecture. So if you are a fresher, you can like answer this one. While setting up a multi-tier architecture on AWS cloud, I struggled, before going into this. So my approach starts with revising the core concepts, like IAM, EC2. I practice hands-on using free tier, solve practice question from certification exams. Being a fresher, you can answer such way. Being a professional, you can say like I prepare by reviewing the projects I have mentioned in my resume in detail. For example, I claim migration experience. I prepare to explain the steps. So being more like, if you are having more years of experience, then you can focus on like staying updated with AWS services with real-time scenarios. I review architecture diagrams, trade-offs, case studies. So likewise, you need to set out a balance between theory and hands-on, and you need to mention your practical problem solving, not just a bookish knowledge.
Yeah. So it means that if someone is going into an interview, and let's say he is someone who is new to AWS, but he's actually is going for the interview, so he can talk about his exposure, what he gained while practicing for certifications, right? Like he created EC2 machines or Lambda function, so he can talk about it. But when somebody is going for an like for an experienced position, or you're basically mentioning that you have years of experience in your resume, in that case you will have to talk about cloud migration or deployments, or probably like multi-tier architecture, or probably how did you review the architecture of the existing cloud infra. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So the approach actually differs, whether you are someone who is entering into first time or you are experienced, correct?
Yeah, because if you are being a fresher, then you will be going with the fundamentals. So you can just go to the free tier and explore the things. But if you are an experienced one and you are saying, like, I'm having 10 years of experience in computer science, then that is not justifiable. You need to mention, like, I have worked on this project and there I have learned about this. Through that, I have seen some of the real time scenarios also. Like that, you can just, take up your journey of learning.
And those when somebody is telling the experience, I think they need to make sure that they are putting it in a right story,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Star methodology.
Star methodology. Yeah, okay, that's what we were discussing. Great. Let's move on to the next question. So now, the next question, Bhavna, tell me about a challenging technical problem you faced and how you solved it. I think this is again very frequently asked question.
Yeah, very frequent. So here basically we need to make our answer very structured. First of all, whenever we are answering these questions like challenge is basically they are asking you a particular scenario, a situation. First of all, we need to make sure we are not making any kind of ambiguity while stating that situation. We need to state that situation, what task needs to be done to solve out, what actions you have taken, and the result, basically the star approach. Okay,
Mhm.
so we need to pick a realistic challenge like networking setup, migration downtime, CI/CD issue, these kind of issues, realistic one. So we need to emphasize on my role and actions while solving out this situation. Not I can never mention every time, like I cannot mention that like in the team, and every time I cannot mention as individual. So I need to answer such kind of questions in such a way. If I'm in a challenging situation, I need to be a part of team as well, and I need to grow myself also, like self grooming, right? So I need to emphasize on my role and actions, not just the team also. And I have to show my problem solving process, like I researched, tested, troubleshooting, all these things you need to mention, right? And you can end with a positive measurable outcome where you give like some of the terminologies, like you have improved any uptime, cost has been reduced, for better understanding of students, successful migration, like these terminologies, which gives a positive measurable outcome after going through this situation. So if you are an experienced professional, so let's say you can say if in one project we were migrating a production database. Okay, the challenge was avoiding downtime while migrating the database. So I suggested using AWS data migration service, which allow continuous replication until we cut over. So it reduces the downtimes less than 10 minutes and keep my business operations smooth. So my role was to set up and test the replication process in the whole scenario. So like I given the situation also, I told about like I'm working a team, but my part was only to set up and test the replication since I have given the solution. So I have used the star methodology. And while answering such kind of questions, you need to give real time scenarios. You cannot, cram or go for someone else scenario. These are also the things.
Okay. Okay, so it means that first of all, we have to pick up the one challenging technical problem. It can be related to network setup, CI/CD, or migration,
Yeah.
correct? And once we pick it up, we need to make sure that we tell that when we are talking about that challenging problem, we tell about our own efforts, what was my role, and what was my team's effort to solve that one big problem. So
Yeah.
Probably I was monitoring the situation, I was troubleshooting, or I was basically implementing something. And later, basically, I have to also like I should end it with the measurable outcomes that because of my presence in the project or because of I implemented data migration service, we could able to cut down the downtime by 10 minutes, which actually saved our business some dollars, right? So some measurable outcomes can be also impactful. Am I right, Bhavna? Is that what
Yes,
you're trying to say?
exactly.
Okay. I hope everyone is probably is noting down all these things. Everyone, are you still there? I hope you are liking the session till here. Okay. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next part, uh, which is like the question four. How do you keep yourself updated and new, cloud technologies, specifically AWS? How will you answer this?
Okay. So in this one, like technologies they are mentioning. So we need to give structured resources. We need to mention like blogs, white papers, every like if this is specifically for AWS. So if I talk about journals, so every organization are giving out certain series and their online resources. So we need to mention that like for AWS we are having reinvent, quick labs, YouTubes, newsletters. So they are having their own official channels, right? So we can just mention all those stuff. We cannot say like I use chat gpt, use Google or something. No, we need to go for the structured resources and the authentic resources from the direct source. We need to highlight community learning like meetups, LinkedIn groups, knowledge sharing groups, like if anyone is publishing their own. And we need to mention about multi-cloud awareness, like if relevant, if it relevant to the post you are interviewed. And we can also include any recent example, like you have explored about AWS Bedrock for AI, on gravitation processors for cost computing. Like these are the some recent sessions which personally I have also attended on AWS live sessions on LinkedIn. So you can mention such things. So like being a beginner, you can say like I follow AWS official blogs, YouTube channels, online communities. I also subscribe newsletter to summarize updates. Being a professional, you can say like I regularly check AWS reinvent announcements, new blogs. I also explore new services hands on in my sandbox account. I have AWS Builder account. There I just go and explore all the content they are mentioning. So likewise, you can, mention out all the resources in a structured way. Don't say I just Google things, or show something structured learning. So your journey seems to be a complete pathway.
Okay, that's great. I think that's a very good information what Bhavna is sharing with us. That and this is again a very important question. What interviewer would like to know? How do you keep yourself up to date? Whether it is about AWS or Azure or any other cloud. So blogs, white papers, journals, online resources are important, but make sure that you mention only authentic resources. Okay, where the information on which you can rely. There are some events hosted by Microsoft and AWS, like AWS hosts an event called reInvent, which is virtually available and as well as offline available. So you can always tell them that you participate in those things. There are some labs available like quick labs. You can go and explore that. And there are some YouTube official YouTube channel of AWS or probably Microsoft Azure. Then community learning, we need to mention that we are someone who is part of big community. There are some meetups happening or there are some LinkedIn groups, so it's very important that we mention those things because communities always keep us up to date. For example, LinkedIn, when you go to LinkedIn you will find new technologies or new things which are being done by big teams like at AWS or Azure. And yes, having multi-cloud awareness always helps, because let's say if you know AWS, if you are expert of AWS, having an idea about Azure, GCP would always help you, because a recruiter might show interest whether this person is aware of what is going on in the industry or not. Okay. So make sure that you guys are noting down and keeping yourself up to date. Yeah. The next question, Bhavna, for you. Suppose you are in an interview and don't know the answer to a technical question. How would you handle it?
Okay. This is the most important thing for the people who are going for interview, isn't it? Okay. So never fake or guess. Honestly build credibility in such situations. Admit what you don't know, but also show curiosity while learning mindset. Like you can explain how would you find the answers using AWS doc, white paper, testing in the labs, consulting peers. You can also relate it to a similar situation you have solved in the past if possible. You can keep your tone positive and professional. I don't know this right now, but I would approach it by like you can give out whatever the thing they have asked. Like if they have asked, suppose about migration, if they have talked about containers, CI/CD. Like someone asked me in the chat also about GRC and IT audit and the relation with AWS. So such kind of things, and you are not totally aware what is GRC and IT audit. So you can switch it in a positive way. Your employers value resourcefulness and problem solving. They don't go for memorization. Okay, so your resourcefulness and problem solving approach is going to be the thing which is going to help you out in this. So you can start it in such a way, like I would be honest and admit that I don't know the exact answer, but I would explain how I would approach solving it. For example, you can go for experimenting with labs, seeking guidance from mentors. This shows like there is a will to learn. If you are experienced one and you have been stuck in kind of scenario or something, right? So you can say like if I don't know something, like I acknowledge is upfront, right? So then I will try to relate it with similar situations I have faced and outline the logical steps I would take. For example, if they are asked about a service you haven't used, you can explain how would you evaluate it using AWS docs, architecture guides, and proof of concept, right? So these all things you can mention. You cannot fake, you cannot guess an answer. You can show a learning mindset and structured approach to solve the problems. This is what they are seeing. Like these only traits are possible for a candidate, which makes any organization to hire them. If they are positive, resourcefulness, and problem solving, so they are going to work in any condition, right, sir?
No, absolutely. Thank you so much. I think this is a great answer, guys, and I hope you might get stuck with such things that you will be asked for something, a technical question, but you're not aware of. The terminologies you might not have heard about. So, as Bhavna said, you have to be honest. Just tell them that you're not sure. There's no problem. I mean, I am a human. I cannot know everything, but just try to be very honest, and tell them that you're going to refer, like if you get such problem and you're not aware of it on the work, when you get a job, tell them you will refer some official documentations available online, guides available on official website, and take help from that, or you probably reach out to any senior who is going to help you out. So you have to basically show that you are willing to learn, you're open to learn, and you're a good team player. So with this, I mean, this is going to happen with every one of us. We will not be able to let's not say something what you don't know. Let's be very careful. Honesty is going to help you in such scenario, and tell them that you're open to learn. You will seek guidance from your senior, and third, you are going to refer some official documentation available on authentic resources or authentic websites. Okay, sounds good, everyone? Great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Switch from non-IT to IT today. Explore www.thinkcloudly.com.